Hello, my friends. Love spending time with you. And I wanted to talk about what the lessons of this upcoming moon/month are going to be. And it's going to be about becoming. And it sounds like such a simple concept, and in a way it is, but getting there isn't always so. So the first lesson that I'd like to talk about today is just one of learning to accept yourself without arrogance or without ego. And the reason why this is key is because whenever either of those two are inserted, arrogance, thinking that you are more than you are, not only does it make you obnoxious and people don't want to approach you, but you also begin to overestimate. And believe it or not, you can really show that you're insecure. Ego can also go in the opposite direction when you feel that you're putting yourself down, you're less than, and so forth. And that can be obvious how that can work against you because people can perceive you as either being an easy mark to manipulate and or needy. So once again, that works against you. So part of accepting yourself as you are is approaching yourself like you would approach someone who is dear to you. So typically, if we have someone who is dear to us, we tend to be more patient. If you are honest and truly care for them, you will be candid with them without being harsh but firm, and allow for them time to grow, allow for them time to develop. So if you begin to use those tactics with yourself, it goes a long way. So the first one being is, instead of like loving your good qualities and then despising your bad ones, is accepting that these are both qualities. Always striving to be the best person that you can be. Strengthen how you can bring light to the world. And then learn how to work with what you perceive are flaws, could be weaknesses. And when it comes to that aspect, that's what I wanted to talk to you about, where we all cannot be good at everything. I would find it to be very boring. And as I've mentioned in other videos, our weaknesses, air quotes, are areas that allow for others to connect with us. So there will be some people who are great at organization and other people who are not good at organization but great at ideas. Well, that allows for a place of connection. That organized person may not be an idea person, so that allows for connection in this way. So when you begin sorting through what you perceive to be your weaknesses, it's key that you go with understanding there's certain parts of you that may never be your forte, and that's okay. Accept them, work within them, allow others to participate so you can work around them. But then there are areas where legitimately we can all improve. Say if you find that you are disorganized, you can begin to learn to be a bit more organized, but you may not be that naturally organized person that can snap your fingers and it looks like a Hollywood movie set where everything is in its place, right? So the other factor of this as well is when you allow yourself to be yourself regardless of the situation that you are in. And that's not always easy. So I wanted to fine tune that because I wrote a little bit about it where, of course, if you are going to be in a work setting, you're going to be definitely more sensitive on how you carry yourself, regardless of who you're talking to. So say if it's a superior, you tend to mind your P's and Q's more. And if it's a peer, to be a bit more relaxed. But to be yourself is exactly what I'm talking about. There are forms of etiquette and ways of being, but not artificially putting on a certain type of personality or persona. Ultimately, what this will lead to is because if folks who don't know you don't have another frame of reference, whether it's in a work scenario or anywhere for that matter, they'll assume that that's who you really are. So if you put on the mask or the persona that you're somebody where everything's okay all the time and you have no needs, you're like the local convenience store, Wawa or wherever you may be, that they will treat you in kind. They will treat you the way that you have presented yourself face value. So living up to that becomes a Herculean task that ultimately will cause burnout, resentment, anxiety, and so forth. Whereas in the beginning, if you present yourself as you are, but as an individual that does need help and assistance to get things done, that does have the need to express themselves in different ways, that there are limitations to your capacities. And again, if it's a work scenario, being honest with your boss and saying, hey, I have this amount of time, I have this amount of capacity, willing to learn. But it's better to, I'm going to say who you are, and then promise what you honestly can do. And if you over deliver, great, versus over promising and under delivering. Not so good. When you allow for others to see you as you are, whether in a work scenario or not, they are interacting with the true you. So yes, depending where you are, different aspects of you or skills will be called more into play. That is natural. But you're still intrinsically who you are. Your personality, your character is equal regardless of who's seeing you, what's going on. And that's known as authenticity and integrity. And that will radiate out more and build the basics of a strong foundation. And you're not even working hard. The reason I use air quotes is because, of course, you try to be the best person that you can be. Not perfect, just perfectly you. And what happens is, yes, you may not find as many people liking you because you're being who you are, but the reason why you see me shrug my shoulders is the people who, air quote, liked you, they didn't know you, or they liked the person who would serve them regardless. Well, that's not who you really are, and that's not the type of person you want in your life. So when you are authentic yourself, correct, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. But the ones who stay, the ones who want to know more about you, are going to be real people, just like you. They're going to want to understand you as you are. And this builds strong foundations, longer lasting relationships, much more relaxed, because everyone is safe to be who they are. And will there be times where there will be disputes and that not everything is as smooth as silk? It's called life. But if you are with people who are, again, authentic as you are, it'll be so much easier for your soul tribe to find you, because you're not wearing a mask. You are showing yourself as who and what you are. When you go out there and express and pursue your interests, then those who resonate with you can feel you as you are, and you can feel them so much more relaxed, because there's not this artificial holding up of something that wasn't real to begin with. You can observe people as they are and then see if you want them involved in your life or not. So overall, that's what I'd say to you. So part of that acceptance is sitting down, just like you would, again, with someone who is dear to you. And you should have a healthy self-respect, a healthy self-love, and look at your personality, look at your character, your quirks. I'm more of a night owl, left to my devices. I know there's some people who are morning people. I know others that without 2 cups of coffee in the morning, don't talk to them if you value your life. We all have our things. But when you can equally look at things, your light and your shadow, when you can embrace your quirks and laugh at yourself in a good way, then that relaxed demeanor, that being able to embrace all of who you are, comes out as a confidence, not an arrogance, just a confidence. You're confident, you're relaxed in your own skin, and that speaks volumes. And in turn, what's really neat about this is other people sensing this not only will feel more comfortable with you, they will also sense that it is okay for them to take their masks off and they can be comfortable in their skin. The other benefit of living authentically, the idea of becoming, and again in the next 3 weeks, I'm going to go through other lessons of becoming, is there are going to be parts of you that, you may not like, you're not comfortable with. We all have them, whether we want to admit it or not. Then at that point are unresolved issues. then this is where you can seek the help of a professional, of somebody whom you trust, who can allow for you to evolve beyond the wounds that you have. So this is part of it too, because a lot of times we think we are being authentic, and you're not, because you're living up to, it could be subconscious, cultural expectations, living within the limitations of old wounds that you think are completely resolved and are not. So when you sit down and look at your personality, you look at your character, you look at what's driving you and driving your life, you can assess, is this truly me? Is this who I am now? Is this who I wish to become? And with what's driving me, yes, it shaped me to this point, but do I want that to continue to shape me into the future? So this is the first step of becoming, is acceptance without arrogance or ego. Make it a practice. Be yourself, regardless of the situation. When you have to perform a role, instead of creating a persona, use that role to enhance different skills and characteristics that you have to grow. Certain aspects of your personality will be highlighted. Maybe you're an optimistic person, but don't let that become a mask, a persona that you're always sunshiny and everything's okay, even when the house is burning down. You're an optimistic person, but then there will be days too that you can get tired, or something can make you have a bit of more of a down day like anybody else, but you're still being you. So ultimately, for some, and on some days this can be challenging, especially when you're in an environment where they do not, I'm going to say, want for people to necessarily be them. They want a certain artificial personality or being to be there. Hopefully you're not in that situation. Regardless, be yourself. If you find that that type of scenario where they want an artificial person doesn't want you, take that as a compliment. You don't belong there anyway. So the idea of becoming is, this is me. I love and care for all of me. I acknowledge my lights and shadows equally. And I will treat myself with the same patience, compassion, being fair but firm as I would for someone dear to me. And do that not just for this week until we speak again. Let this become a lifetime walk. Becoming, and becoming real, as the Velveteen Rabbit would say, can require work. It can wear you down, but the joy of being yourself gives you the opportunity to be completely alive with other authentic people. It opens you spiritually, mentally, and physically to breathe in the breath of life, to connect in ways that are unobstructed by illusions or toxic emotions. It is a fantastic reward, I assure you. So my friends, again, if you found this video useful, please give it a like if you found it useful. If you haven't subscribed already, I beg of you, please do. I would welcome you to join us. And again, remember, every time I premiere a video, I'll be there live, and I'm so thrilled to chat with you and answer your questions. And just a gentle reminder, again, I thank you for those of you who've given me suggestions. I'm looking to open 2 subscribe channels into late summer, early fall, one will deal with meditations, and the other one with miniature lessons to help you to grow spiritually and different psychic or spiritual gifts. All right, so I guess that's about it for this time. Wanishi, thank you so much for being with me. Until we are together again, bright blessings to you and yours. See you then.